body. Now nobody is interested and people can't even recognize you. So it has to be a close up of your face. It has to be not the full body, but only face. There shouldn't be any bad lighting. You shouldn't crop from any other picture, but you should shoot a proper picture with a close up and proper ambient natural light. It's not good to have a photo in unprofessional attire. So make sure you have a good photo. Like in this case, you can see this is a very good profile pic because close up is on the face. Expression is smiling, approachable, looks friendly. Background is sober, monochromatic. It's not good to have multicolored background because then it's difficult to stand out. Your picture, your face will blend with the background. And casual yet decent attire. Now, once you've optimized your picture, the next step is that in your LinkedIn profile, you should write a very good summary about yourself. So when you are writing, you have to write in first person. So it is about I. So when you use word I, especially when you are young, you have to use first person. But once you become senior, you can use third person. So it can be she, he. So first person will build that connect, and unnecessarily do not use caps because too many caps will look like as if you are screaming and it is very aggressive. So use just short sentences, clearly tell what you are good at, what is your job profile, what is the role that you are having, any shift in career that you had. Basically highlight your skills and experience. So for example, like this, now, this is a good summary because it clearly tells that Bruce Lamb is a senior recruiter at Shippo. And it's sparking emotions also because he's saying, I spark joy in recruiting and enable candidates to be successful. So it's not just some monotonous work for him. He's finding joy and pleasure in whatever he's doing. He's finding meaning in his job. So look at the description. I find great people and find them great careers. So he's helping others to find great careers. And it all starts with a conversation. So look at the language, it connects. Then he's saying, I'm data driven, insightful recruiter who's passionate about growing teams. And he's talking about skills. So my skills are in full cycle recruiting, strategic sourcing, data analytics. So he's putting all the keywords. Now, please comment if you are also having a summary or a bio like this, or do you need to improve? So, right, need to improve or already good. Just comment so we will know how we have to proceed. Now, if you look, now once you've written a good summary, we have to write a good headline. Now, as a student, what are you looking at? So, are you looking for internship? Is it full time? Is it part time? So, write that clearly. Clearly state the position you want and use keywords. So, you are looking for internship or job in what? So, in this, it's written full stack development roles. So, it should be very clear. Put the keyword and keep on changing the headline with the change in your experience. Then you should customize your URL. So you've got a LinkedIn ID. So for example, my ID is Seema IMB. Now LinkedIn will give a URL. So you can share that URL and people can click and directly come to your profile. Now that URL will have some strange characters, strange parameters. So there is an option to customize your URL. So I have made it linkedin.com/Seema IMB. So it's memorable, it's not dirty URL, and it's very clear that this page will take people to my profile. So just optimize these basic things. It doesn't take more than 5-10 minutes, but it will have a huge impact on your future. Now, when you're building a profile, you have to build a profile not just on LinkedIn, but across all social media. So make sure your profile is as consistent as Amir Khan and as unique as Shah Rukh Khan. So it shouldn't be that LinkedIn is saying something, Facebook is saying something, although Facebook is more personal, and you will talk about more about friends and interest and all, but still they should be in harmony, they should be aligned. So ensure it is like that. Now after that, what will you post on LinkedIn? Now just opening profile on LinkedIn is not enough, so you have to be active on LinkedIn. So what will you post? That becomes a critical challenge, because then you need content. Now first of all, you must build connections with people from your related field. So like I'm in digital marketing, so I just type the keyword digital marketing and look for people. So then I identify people who are experts in my field, and I send connection request to them. So you should also do the same. Now if people, LinkedIn will not allow you to link beyond second degree of connection. So first degree of connection is people who are already connected with you, so you can have a dialogue with them, right? Second degree of connection is friends of people you are directly connected. So send them connection request, so that way you can expand your network. But if it is beyond second degree of connection, then you can't send connection request. Now what will be a shortcut? How can you smartly connect with those people? Because LinkedIn will not allow you to send a connection request directly. So tell in the chat, how do you think you can connect to people beyond second degree of connection? So very good shortcut. So Dr. Gaurav, you can maybe take some inputs which are coming in Facebook.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be taking.
Okay. Now, a very good shortcut which I can suggest is you can join groups. So I identify groups of digital marketing. Now, in these groups, people who are interested in digital marketing, they have joined. So I connect with people through the group. Now, the benefit of group is that we can directly send a message, even if we are not connected. So you can directly send a message to people just because we are members of a common group. So leverage the power of groups to grow your network. Now, once you send a message and people are responding, now they may be curious, they may go to your profile, and then they may send a connect request. So that is how you can grow your network. Another thing is, it's not that you have to keep on creating content all the time. A very good way of engaging is by commenting. So identify post by influential people. So have a list of 10 experts in your field, in your domain. Let's say you want to make a career in marketing. Then identify top 10 LinkedIn influencers in marketing, and identify their post and comment on them. And don't just say very good and nice and these type of words, because they won't have any value. But share some insight, maybe your experience. Try to add value through comment, so that way the experts will notice you. And then later when you send a connection request, then they may accept, and your network will further grow. So LinkedIn has a lot of filtering. So you have advanced search. So this filtering, no, is very powerful. So try to use the advantage of advanced search and filtering to discover content which is relevant to you, to discover people who are experts in your field, to discover hashtags which are in your field. And you can almost find anyone on LinkedIn by using the advanced search option. So, friends, the point here I'm making is that use advanced search or filtering of LinkedIn. It's very powerful. You can connect with almost anyone, because we are only away by a few connections. So try to write about your experience in groups, as your internship experience or your job experience. Now, now see this lockdown and this corona. I believe it will affect the students the most. So students who will graduate in 2020 and 2021 will be impacted the most because economy is in recession. So openings will be less, pay scales will be less. So really I empathize with young students, and that is the reason behind this webinar as well. So when you are applying for jobs on LinkedIn, you check your summary, which we just discussed. Make sure it has enough details, because nowadays, no, many recruiters, they don't look for a proper resume, and your LinkedIn profile itself acts like a resume. So put all the keywords, put all the skills, put your work experience in summary, and upload your resume also. And then use advanced search and find your favorite companies where you want to apply. So already you should know that, okay, after 1 year, these are my dream companies. Now search for these dream companies in LinkedIn and search for people who are working in these companies in your domain, like marketing or finance or operations or whatever, or digital marketing, and build network with them. So tomorrow, when you apply for a job in these companies, you will already be connected with many employees of those companies, and that will help you in getting a job. Then you already have a connection, or you already have many connections. So ask them to give a formal introduction to employers if applicable. So when you are applying for a job, now ask your connections to introduce you. So it's very easy. They can just share your profile to the employer, and it will act like a third party recommendation. So it will have more weightage. You can also use alumni. So just check if your college, it has got a LinkedIn page. And if it doesn't have, then motivate the college to have a LinkedIn page. And colleges will have a tab in the LinkedIn page, no? Tab will be there, alumni. So if you are a part of the alumni, now you can access profiles of all the alumni. And you can identify alumni who are working with the company that you have applied for. And you can ask them to recommend you, give a referral. So basically, friends, remember this alumni tool is very powerful. So for that, your school, college should have a page on LinkedIn, and they should enable the alumni tool. And then you can check out profiles of all the alumni. So write in chat box, were you familiar with this alumni tool? Yes or no? Write in chat box. Are you familiar? I can join. Okay. I'm seeing some comments in Zoom. After this lecture, I can join in LinkedIn. Yes, absolutely. LinkedIn is very useful. One of the most useful social media platforms. Premium version of LinkedIn is paid, Tarika is saying. So how students can take advantage of that? Should they buy? Tarika, right now it's not needed to go for paid version because that will be expensive. It is 6,000, 7,000 rupees per month. So you can just use the free version of LinkedIn, and that is enough to do whatever we are discussing. Okay, so not to worry about.
On Facebook, we have got comments about more than 26, 27 comments that they are familiar with the alumni tool. Prestige is also having, Institute is also having LinkedIn page, and we have a good network on that.
Oh, wonderful.
Good number of recruiters and good number of students and alumni are on our LinkedIn page.
Oh, wonderful. And I'm glad so many people are saying they are familiar with alumni tool. So use that. It will be very handy. So now when you have presence on social media, so one is you want to build your own personal brand, which we will discuss shortly. But another advantage of social media is that you can use it for learning. Now, how will you learn? So there are two ways. So you can learn by either following the right people, which is the experts. So you identify your domain and follow those experts in whichever platform is your favorite. So if you prefer to be on Instagram, like most youngsters, no, they prefer Instagram, and LinkedIn is like it's too boring and too professional. So that's also okay. So you can be on Instagram and follow experts in your domain. So if it is digital marketing, you can follow Neil Patel, Saurabh Jain, you can follow my handle. So I'm regularly posting tips. So my handle is Prof. Seema Gupta. You can also follow me on YouTube, where a lot of video tutorials are there and very actionable tips on hashtag strategy, how to be an influencer, how to do Instagram marketing, or get views on videos. So make sure you are not just interacting with your friends, but interacting with experts. Number two, follow hashtag. Now, beauty of hashtag is that there is no need to follow hundreds of experts. Now you can follow just hashtag, let's say hashtag digital marketing, hashtag SEO. Now anybody who's posting a tip on digital marketing will use these prominent hashtags. So you can just check the top post in those hashtags. So it is a very good way of keeping abreast with latest developments in the field. So please comment in the chat box which hashtags you are following right now. Just write your hashtags. Which hashtags do you follow? Okay. So now after having optimized your LinkedIn profile and do the same thing for other social media channels. Now the question is, what can you do online? See, one is you just fritter away time and whole day keep on seeing some images of friends, what they are doing, what cooking they are doing, what fancy stuff they are making and all. But that is not productive. So we have to channelize our energies in more productive ways. So digital marketing, social media can drain away all your time, or it can be highly productive. So young students, choice is yours. Whether you want to use it to grow your career or you just want to kill time. You can kill 4 hours on Instagram, social media, without even realizing how much time you have spent. So I'm like my opinion is that time is money, and time is the only thing that we have and that can make a difference. So utilize time to its fullest potential. Now let's go to personal branding. It's a good idea to build a brand for yourself, and these are not very costly ways because social media is free and it doesn't cost you money to open your profile. So if you want to check whether you are already a personal brand or not, so do a little experiment. So just open an incognito tab in your browser and write your full name and see what results are coming. So if your social media pages are coming, that means you have already started the path of personal branding. But if your social media handles are not coming, and none of the results are yours, then that means you have not started branding yourself. So that can be the start of the journey. But it doesn't matter whether you have started or not, because what matters is not from where you start, but where you end up is what matters more. Now, if you want to build a personal brand, firstly, we have to choose a niche area of interest. So you must identify what is the domain, what is the area in which you want to build a brand. So you can't be jack of all trades and master of none. So people will only connect with you only when they feel that you are specializing in some domain and you have expertise or interest in that domain. So identify that niche. So my niche is digital marketing. So if I start giving tips on finance, who will listen to me? Nobody will call me for a webinar if I start giving webinars on finance, because that's not my expertise. Similarly, Anushka Sharma, if she starts recommending that, okay, this is the phone that you should buy because, and she's talking about technology, who will pay attention to her advice? But if technical Guruji on YouTube is telling about which phone model to buy, then people will pay attention because he is an influencer in technology. So, if you want to figure out what's your area of interest, try to answer questions like, what do people say I'm good at? What do I read about in my free time? What am I passionate about? These answers will help you define your area of expertise. So, identify the domain. Now, build a personal brand. So, open a profile. put picture, summary, description. So here you're not talking about a company, but you're trying to brand yourself. But the process is the same. So it should still look like as professional as a company name. Instead of logo, it will be your face, your close-up picture. You should still talk about what is your mission, what is your purpose, how do you foresee future, and it shouldn't be always blowing your own trumpet. So we have to tell what is it for others, how others will benefit from your profile, from your social media account. So like I say that my mission, I support Digital India. So my objective is to spread the education of digital marketing and make it accessible to as many youth as possible in the country. So that will resonate. Or I say that my objective is to help businesses grow, so that will connect with people. But if I keep saying I'm an expert in digital, I know this, that, nobody cares, nobody gives a damn what you know, what you're expert at, right? So make it customer centric. Now when you're building a personal brand, do not try to copy others. It is good to take inspiration. So like I take inspiration from Neil Patel, because he's the father of digital marketing, but I cannot copy him, because only way to stand out is by being yourself. Everyone else is taken. So be unique, be authentic, and don't worry about others. Take inspiration, take ideas, but do not try to imitate. Now, once you've identified that what is the brand foundation, what is the skills, what is the values that you believe in, what are your passions, what are your strengths, now this will define your brand personality, your brand vision. So reflect that in your bio, in your summary, in your account, and create content which matches with your skills, values, passion. So do not go all over the place. So do not talk about everything under the sun, because then you'll be like lost in the crowd. So stick to the niche. Now select your target audience. So who do you want to be recognized by? And who will benefit from your association? So my target audience is marketing people. So they will benefit from my digital marketing expertise. My target audience is professionals. My target audience is students. Now they may be management students, generally more generally more management students. So you have to be very clear who you are pitching to. Make an offer that target audience cannot refuse. So, what is so compelling about your profile? So, right now you are very young, so you cannot boast that you have attained already so many things, because you're just starting the journey. So, you can talk about some emotional things, some powerful things, like you are willing to work overtime, you are a workaholic, you will take responsibility for results, you are willing to learn in demand skills. So those things will be attractive to the client. So for example, like I regularly get applications for internship from engineering students who want to do management in future. So one line which appeals to me is many of them write that they are willing to learn the skills which are required for internship. So they are willing to work hard, up their game, be ready for internship. So that appeals. So try to do that. Now, if you want to build a personal brand, you need a digital presence. So what will be your digital presence? Now it can be social media. So of course, you can have profile on Instagram, on LinkedIn. So you should do that. So build an attractive profile, build a network there. But additionally, you can also look at having a website or a blog or even a YouTube channel, because then this will be a bigger responsibility. And here it will indicate that you are serious, you are dedicated, you are committed. So reply in chat box if you already have a blog or a YouTube channel or a website. Do you have a blog or a website or a channel, YouTube channel? Reply in comments. Are there any comments in Facebook that you want me to take?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
Actually, Facebook is about 30 seconds before than the live one. So therefore, many students, when you have asked what hashtags you are using, many students have posted uh, hashtag management, hashtag techno tourism, hashtag technology, hashtag digital marketing. So many students have posted about that. Right
Wow.
now, right now they are posting like they have one of the student is posting. They have the YouTube channel and he's having more than 2,000 subscribers.
Okay, what is the name? Can you take names of such people?
Keshav Gambhir.
Okay.
He's a student of MBA at our institute.
Mm-hmm.
And Alok Pandey is a student. He's sharing that he's having a blog, personal blog.
Very good.
Sanjana Sharma is also having a blog which is known as Pandit Akriti. And then there are many students who are saying that they are having YouTube channel and blogs too. This is more than expectation. Ma'am.
Yeah,
We didn't
wonderful.
know. Yeah, even we didn't know like this much amount of students are having their own YouTube channel and their own blogs.
Mm, very nice. So congratulations, those who already have a blog or website. See, blog or website has become completely essential. So those who don't have, I strongly urge you, just have a one-page website. It need not be complex. So just use Wix or WordPress. There are so many do-it-yourself platforms, simple software, because website, blog, or YouTube channel is zero moment of truth. So anybody searching for you on Google should be able to find your authentic channel. So social media is fine, but these channels will look more authentic. So just make a one-page website. Just tell about you, what you are doing, areas, passion. Make it. It will be very nice.
There is one thing which is very interesting.
Hmm.
One of the students is sharing that he is having pages on memes,
Oh,
and he is having 200. He's having more than 21,000 followers.
wow.
He's having a meme page on Instagram and more than 21,000 followers. He's Ashish Chaurasia.
Wonderful. So next time we can invite Ashish to share what he's doing, what magic he's doing on social media.
Right, ma'am.
That's very nice. Actually, memes, they are very powerful. So even in my social media accounts, I regularly post memes. Because memes are basically taking some other context, like say a popular television serial or movies, and it shows vivid expressions because characters are there. And now you can put a twist to the meme by putting some other content. So it communicates very nicely because people can relate to popular TV series characters or movie characters. And it is funny because you're giving a twist. And yes, there is a lesson also. So memes are very powerful. If you're looking for virality, if you want to quickly grow followers, then keep posting memes regularly. So even I post memes. So sometimes my social media team, it says that, ma'am, your brand is very authentic and slightly academic and serious. So posting this funny meme and having some funny comments may look odd. I tell them, forget about who I am, look at who the audience is. Audience is young, they want to have fun. So put memes. Okay, now it is good to develop some sort of visibility strategy. So you have social media presence, but it is not enough. So time and again, we need to come out in the front and increase visibility. So see whether you get opportunities for public speaking, or like a blog will also give you visibility when people are searching, or webinar. So basically what I'm saying is that you cannot shy away. So if you want to build a personal brand, you have to have the confidence to come out in the open and be a face, a public face. So develop that confidence. And you should always be marketing your content. So once you're creating content, do cross posting on social media. Constantly you have to market yourself. But marketing on social media has to be subtle. So don't blow your own trumpet like I'm so great, God's gift to mankind. Nobody will be interested. But if you give content which appeals to them, which will help them, which will add value to them, then you are doing subtle, indirect marketing for yourself. So do soft marketing, friends. Don't do loud marketing. Don't do blatant marketing, only value added marketing. So another area which you can take up is blogging. So for doing personal branding, blogging may go a long way, but it is not just for personal branding. It has many other advantages. Now it will help you to improve writing skills. It will give you a healthy outlet for feelings, for ideas. See, the biggest benefit of internet, no, is that it has made all of us into writers. Earlier, most people were reader because there was no avenue to write. Now you can't publish a book because it's not easy to get publisher. Correct. But now it is all self-publishing platform. So when you're writing a blog article, when you're tweeting, when you're creating a status update on Instagram, on Facebook, you're becoming a writer. Blogging is nothing but a bigger platform for writing. So it will be more organized, it will be more research oriented, more in depth, it will be more critical analysis. So it will take you one step ahead into becoming a thought leader. So if you want to be a thought leader, look at blogging, and then you can earn money through blogging. So once, I think we have to mute some people whose sound is coming.
Participants, please mute yourself. Yes, ma'am, I got them.
Okay. So once you have enough traffic on your blog, no, you can monetize it. So how can you monetize? Now, basically, we can monetize by partnering with Google AdSense. So Google AdSense is basically a platform where you can run paid ads and get money. Now, when you're writing, see, you have to make sure that it is up to the mark. So now there are many tools. Beauty of internet is that lot of things are free because entire internet works on freemium model. So you can check the readability of your blog article by deploying some readability test. You can check grammar by using free version of Grammarly, right? You can choose the right keyword. So put keyword in the blog so that your blog is discoverable. So free keyword tools are there, which will help you to identify the right keywords. Don't write about everything. Write only about the niche that you are an expert in or want to be an expert in, and optimize with those keywords the blog article and use some. So if you have a blog, then use some plugins which will help in SEO. So type in comment box if you are already using any tool in digital. So which tool are you using? Do you use Grammarly, readability test, or hashtag tool for figuring out right hashtag strategy, or WordPress, or any plugin? So please write what tools you are using. Okay, so we have comments in Zoom. Divya is saying that she has a blog on Instagram with more than 3,000 followers. That's very good. 3,000 followers getting organically is very good. Hashtag tools, hashtag WordPress people are using. Hashtag is like the next big thing. In hashtag, no, we have to understand what is the right hashtag to use. So many people, they just use random hashtag. They'll start putting the keyword. Now digital marketing, suppose for me. Now I'll type digital marketing and I will use digital marketing hashtag. Now it may not be the best hashtag because competition is huge in this big hashtag of digital marketing. Because on Insta, it gets millions of posts. Now chances of your post standing out, coming on top out of these millions of posts is very less. So there's no point in using like very big hashtags like digital marketing. So instead, use tools, identify hashtags with less competition. So it may be digital marketing tips, digital marketing tricks, digital marketing strategy, Instagram marketing strategy. So they will have lesser competition. So more chances that you can rank higher. So use tool, do proper planning. Okay, people are saying they are using Evernote. Pradeep Tomar is saying he is using Evernote. That's very smart, Pradeep. Evernote is basically a tool which links with LinkedIn. And benefit of Evernote is that you can make notes. Like suppose you are just going in a train or you are waiting. So at that time, you have an idea on which you can write the blog article or create a LinkedIn post. So you can make notes, and then it's easy to convert the note into a blog article, which you can publish on LinkedIn. So use Evernote, download this Evernote app, and on the fly, anywhere you are, you can make notes and convert the notes into a article. Uh, Hemingway app, I have not heard of this app. I'm not familiar. Canva. See, this, yeah, it reminds me. Canva is basically a design tool. See, nowadays, no, what is literacy? The definition of literacy itself is changing. Earlier, we said literacy is ability to read or write. Correct. But now, literacy is not just that. Literacy is ability to create images, ability to edit images, ability to create video content, ability to edit video content. That is literacy of this century. So equip yourself with design skills. Design is the future because people are moving away from text to images, from images to video. So do you know how to shoot a video? Do you know how to edit a video? If you don't know, how will you communicate in future? Will you always hire people? That will be very costly. Are
I'm
you
on
getting?
Facebook channel, Facebook platform. People are saying that Google Trends they are using,
Okay.
and YouTube channel. Sorry, this YouTube keywords tool they are using as a website,
Mm-hmm.
and this hashtag platform as a website they are using for finding the hashtags. And Instagram, there is one tool which is Instagram photography. Maybe the students have started promoting their own channels on the Facebook.
No, that's good. It's okay. So that's very nice. Google Trends, very powerful tool. So many people they are requesting that a webinar we should do on tools in digital marketing because many tools are free and they can unlock so much of potential. So Google Trends is wonderful. It will give you trend data for search that people are searching for what keywords. See, let's say like I am from management. You are also from management, right? Prestige Institute of Management. Now, if you want to find out that our category is increasing or decreasing, we can use Google Trends. So we can type keyword MBA and we can compare with say engineering or MBBS or any other profession. And it will tell whether the search volume for MBA is increasing or decreasing over last 5 years, over last 1 year. So people can find out whether they are in declining market or in growth market. People can also find out that you can do search for your own brand. So Prestige Institute, how many searches are happening? Is it declining? And how do you compare with competition? So like IMB, how does it compare with IMA? How does it compare with ISB? So people are searching whom more, right? So that will help. So good tool. Then somebody said YouTube keyword tool. That is also very good. TubeBuddy or vidIQ, these are very good tools for YouTube. So if you are having YouTube channel, you must do research that what keywords people are searching in YouTube. And this tool will give you the keyword research. So use that if you're not using. Okay. Now you can make money in blogging by linking with Google AdSense. So Google AdSense, like I said, basically you are telling Google that show ads on my blog, and you are giving a Google will show ads on your behalf on your blog. So Google will get advertisers. In return, Google will take a percentage. So Google will pay you some money and remaining Google will keep. So it is a good way of monetizing your blog. But get into Google AdSense only when the traffic is quite good. You should have minimum at least 7, 8,000 users per month on your blog. So till you reach there, keep on creating more content, keep on doing SEO and generate more traffic, and then link up with Google Ads. Yes. Okay.
Sorry, ma'am, that was a participant. I muted him.
Sure. Sure. So once you, now whatever blog you are creating, you have to cross promote it on all social media. Now, once your blog has become popular, now next thing you can get into as a student is affiliate marketing. Now, I encourage all the students to explore these fields, irrespective of whether you will end up being a blogger full time or not, or affiliate marketer full time or not, because every business is using it. Every business, most companies, most brands, they have a blog. So if you start a blog on your own, you will understand the pain points. You will understand what it takes to make a blog succeed, what pain, how painful it is to drive traffic to your blog. You will understand digital marketing on your own. So go into the blog path, and once your blog has traffic, then venture into affiliate marketing. So what is affiliate marketing? So it is just an extension. So basically, I'll just explain what is affiliate. So try to build something that will always be remembered like Amitabh Bachchan. So start small, but you have a big vision. And if you're consistent, persistent, you will reach there. And it's not destination which is important. It is the journey which is important. So in the journey, you will learn lot of things which will help you in the career. So do not fritter away your time on social media just seeing friends' photos. Use the time to do blogging. Use time to become an affiliate marketer. Use time to build a personal brand. Develop expertise in a niche. Learn video editing. Learn design skills. Learn Canva. Learn Photoshop. Learn Adobe Premiere Pro. These tools, this is basic literacy. Okay, friends. All right. Now you can get into affiliate marketing. So affiliate marketing is a passive way of making money. Now in India, we don't have culture where students, they try to generate part-time income because everything parents happily pay. Uh, so you can still rely on parents, or you can say that no, I have a lot of self-esteem. So I don't want to put the entire burden on parents, and I want to recover some cost from my own income. So that will be good, and that will make you very mature, and you will grow as an individual much faster. So basically, affiliate marketer is somebody who is trying to sell somebody else's products. Now you are doing blogging, you don't have a product. See how you can make most money online. You can make most money online by selling something. But you are a student, you don't have any product to sell, because profit margin will be the highest in your own product. Correct? But it's okay, you don't have a product. So next best thing is to make money by selling somebody else's product and be paid a commission. So that is what is affiliate marketing. So you have a merchant. Now merchant may be a Flipkart or Amazon. Now they have very popular affiliate programs, and you can become the publisher. Publisher is the owner of website. So you have a blog, you have a website. Now you can become affiliate of Amazon and pick any product that you want to promote. Now you write blog article about comparing review of that product, give genuine, authentic review, and Amazon will give you a link. And if people click on the link, that link on your blog, and if they make a purchase, then Amazon will give you a commission. So that is the next best thing to making money by selling your own products. So get into affiliate marketing. You get paid commission for every sale that comes through your link. So comment in the chat box if you are familiar with affiliate marketing. Yes, no. And if anybody is doing affiliate marketing right now, message. What are you doing? What has been the experience? So friends, what I'm saying is that this is a good time to explore all these things. They will help you in future. So Pradeep is saying that yes, he's into affiliate marketing. Mohit is also, maybe is familiar. They are familiar with affiliate marketing. Anil is saying it's new. So many people are not aware, but affiliate marketing is the next big thing. And I get a lot of demand for offering courses on affiliate marketing. But it is not easy. See, nothing is easy. So it's not about hard or easy. Everything is hard only. So we have to be ready to walk the difficult path, but it has potential to earn you money. Now, when you go into affiliate marketing, you have to basically write about products. Now, if you look at YouTube channel, affiliate marketing, you can do through YouTube also. So if you have a good YouTube channel, then you can create content about certain products like Technical Guruji. He's creating reviews about different smartphones. So people are watching, and based on his recommendation, people click on the link which is given in description. And if people buy from that link, he gets the commission. You can also do it through your blog. So you can give blog links in the blog. Basically, it will hone your art of persuasive writing. So you will write in a persuasive way. So right now, the most popular affiliate program is Amazon, most sought after. So why it is most sought after? Because Amazon has like millions of products, and people have trust in Amazon on its service, return policy. So when people click on your link, chances of conversion will be higher. But only take up those products in which you have interest, in which you have passion, in which you can build some expertise. And whatever content you're writing should be authentic. And don't make it like very fluffy. So you have to include both pros and cons. So you have to appear authentic. So the best thing is take two competing products. All right. So take say two tools. Now keyword tool. So we can take Uber Suggest and keyword planner tool. So now write pros and cons of both the tools and give links for both the tools. People can choose which one they want to buy, and it doesn't matter to you because you get commission for any. So whether people buy X or Y, it doesn't matter because you get commission for both. So are there any comments?
Yes, ma'am. On Facebook, it is almost equal ratio of yes and no of affiliate marketing. Fewer of the audience are asking if you can explain a bit details of the affiliate marketing.
Okay. All right, I will do that. So basically, in affiliate marketing, friends, we have three parties. So one is merchant. Now, merchant is the owner of the product. So merchant here may be anybody who's selling a product. So it may be Body Shop, it may be Policy Bazaar, it may be Myntra, it may be Amazon, Flipkart. Now, Amazon, Flipkart, they are not having one product, they have so many products, but still they are called as merchant because it's a marketplace. You can choose any product you want to promote on Amazon site. So these are owners of product. Now these merchants, they want to focus on their business, which is like maintaining the website, maintaining inventory, ensuring deliveries are in order, customer return, feedback, rating. That is their core business. Warehouse, correct? So they take the help of publisher. Publisher are the affiliates. Now these affiliates will take up marketing on behalf of merchant. So what these affiliates will do is they will do content marketing. So they will create lot of content. They will create review articles or on YouTube. Basically, these two channels are used more, YouTube or blog, and they can create content about review of that product. Say you choose a particular shampoo on Amazon, say Dove. So they will create article as to how Dove is helping in stopping hair fall, and compare it with say Garnier or any other brand. Now some people will click and merchant will give you a link. Now this link is the affiliate link which you place on your article somewhere in the middle, and you have to disclose that you are an affiliate. Now if people click on the link will take them to Amazon site, and if people buy within 24 hours, you get commission. Commission ranges from 6 7, it's typically around 7 8%. So you get 7 8% commission. If it is B2B company, commissions are 30%, 35%, because it's like one time buy, bigger ticket item. So that is how you make money. So merchant is the owner of the product, publisher is the marketeer, customer is the end consumer who will buy the product. So when the end consumer is buying through your link, publisher is getting a commission and merchant is paying the commission. So that is what affiliate marketing is all about. I hope that clarifies. Now, once you've started on the journey of affiliate marketing, another thing you can do, no, to build your brand and even to earn income. Look at platforms like Quora and open your account and build your profile on Quora. So you've already identified a niche. My niche is digital marketing. So I have an account on Quora for digital marketing. So I identify questions related to digital marketing and answer them. Sometimes I also answer broader topics like management, entrepreneurship, or life after Corona, during COVID. So uh, some life skills. So you can do something like initially 60% of the content may be more broad based. Now why I'm saying go for broad based first, because then you will have more views of your answers. Now initially when I started journey on Quora, I started answering related to digital marketing. Now views were very less because it's very small niche. So not many people are interested only in digital marketing. But if it is like some general thing about technology or entrepreneurship or MBA or how to get admission, so more people are interested. So when I started posting on broader topics, life tips, life hacks, some general, based on my experience, I could share. So suddenly the views skyrocketed. And now slowly I'm having a proportion. So 60% of my answers are general, 40% are related to digital marketing. So that is how you can do. So open a profile on Quora. Quora is increasingly becoming more and more important. You search any keyword, Quora will be there in the top 10 because they are user generated. So people trust Quora more. So type in comment box if anybody is using Quora for answering, not for questioning. But do you have a profile on Quora? Are you answering on Quora? Or any experience on Quora? Meanwhile, Nilima is saying after purchasing from e-commerce site, they are asking for feedback, and it is also helpful for other buyer. Sometimes they are asking questions on purchase product. So does it consider as affiliate marketing? No, no, Nilima, this is not affiliate marketing. This is just collecting review, feedback. Affiliate marketing is what I described. Review is very important. So nowadays, every company is chasing us, give review, give comment, because then customers will become brand ambassadors and people trust fellow customers more than they trust marketeers. So people are looking at ratings and reviews before buying. So marketeers are chasing customers for ratings. So type in the comment box if you are using Quora, any experience with Quora. See, now Google is also competing with Quora. And in Google search, Google is saying, Google is giving Q&A from Google. So Google is trying that people shouldn't go to Quora, and people should look for answers on Google itself. So Google has also started Q&A on Google. And it is part of Google My Business, which I cannot cover now. Okay.
Facebook, there are very good number of comments. Most of the faculty members, I believe, they are faculty members. They are saying, sharing that they are answering on the Quora. One is Sanjana Sharma is saying that Harshit, Pitambar Gadle, and there are 3 4 other members. Most of the faculty members are saying that they are using Quora for answering, and most of the students are saying that they are using Quora for questioning.
Okay.
I've got an interesting question, ma'am, on Facebook.
Yes.
Somebody is asking about responsible marketing. How online marketing helps marketer to affiliate marketing and responsible marketing.
Responsible marketing.
Yeah. How online market helps marketer to affiliate marketing and responsible marketing.
Yeah, okay. So this is interesting. So basically, see, online marketing, I don't think it is completely responsible because there are many malpractices which are still happening. But advantage of online marketing is that it discloses complete information. So price is there upfront and people can compare prices. Reviews are there upfront. You can see the reviews and then make purchase decision. So online marketing will become more responsible marketing as there is more disclosure of information. So right now information is disclosed, but how authentic it is, how complete it is, still we have a long way to go. So for example, like I had some experience with B2B e-commerce in apparel. Now in apparel, no, now if you're saying this, you have like a kurti or a shirt, now it is made of cotton. So seller is only writing cotton, but then cotton also comes in 100 varieties. So is it 60 by 40 cotton or is it 40 by 40 cotton or what variety? So that they are not disclosing. Now customer is placing order looking at price that okay, price is very cheap and it is pure cotton. But when the customer gets the product, that cotton is very rough, it's low quality cotton. So then they are dissatisfied and then they want to return the product. So in future, there has to be complete disclosure of information. We cannot just say cotton, what variety of cotton, because it has to substitute offline world. In offline, how people make decision, they touch and feel the cloth. So they can make out whether it is soft or hard cloth, but they can't do it in online. So you have to give full information, right? So that will be responsible marketing. Amazon, Flipkart, they are having good practices because they want to grow the market. So they are taking returns and encouraging people. But other smaller companies who don't have such funding, they sometimes they may not be able to provide that kind of service. Okay, so many people. Any other question you want me to take?
Ma'am, there are many questions. I'll help you in taking those questions towards the end.
Okay, no, in between we can break the flow.
I just thought this question is connected to whatever you are discussing. That is why I've taken in
Okay, sure. We'll take in the end.
right.
All right. So we have say another 5 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Uh, so now another option that you have is freelancing. So we discussed about personal branding and affiliate marketing and blogging. Now you can consider freelancing. Now, benefit of freelancing is that you are working for a client. So it will help you build portfolio. Now, I am an expert or specialist in digital marketing. Now, if I take up some projects in digital marketing and if I have some clients, then it builds portfolio. I can show that how I improve the results for a company. Correct. So it's a good idea to register yourself on some freelancing sites because then you will be pushed to bring depth into your field. Now, saying that I'm a digital marketer is one thing, but actually doing digital marketing for a company and showing results is totally different ball game. Correct. So you can't fool anybody. And if you're taking money, you have to give value in return. So freelancing and getting paid clients will push you to explore the nuances of your field and build your portfolio, which will be very useful when you apply for jobs, give interviews, because then discussion will revolve around the projects that you have done. And then you will have an upper hand. because you have done the project. So you're completely thorough, you know, inside out. And then you'll be telling a story, and interviewer will be spellbound that how such a young student has done so many projects and practical experience. So I strongly encourage to get into freelancing. Now, some tips. If you want to go for freelancing, go for a median price. Don't put very low price, because then people will think that there is no quality. Don't go for very high price, because then they won't consider you. Correct. Once you've completed a project, get reviews from them, because then your work will seem more authentic. In freelancing, there is lot of demand for projects in design, video editing, digital marketing, and content writing. It is there in other areas also, like website design. That is also very popular field. So you can check that. Fiverr, freelancer.com, they are some popular sites. So anybody using freelancing? So comment, anybody doing freelancing? Are you registered on any freelance site? Or maybe any internship site like Internshala or any other site? Write in the comment box. Did you get anything in Facebook?
I'll get slightly late because Facebook is about 30 seconds delayed. So
Yes, yes. So Akriti is telling in Zoom that she has tried Internshala. Internshala is very popular. Many students do that. So it's good. But if you're a college student, particularly if you're a postgraduate student, you can also try freelancing site, because internship is also good, but freelancing is more professional, and you will be competing with other professionals. So it will take you to a higher orbit. So try that. It's always good to keep pushing yourself to higher and higher levels.
on
Yes,
Facebook,
many
there are
people.
many students who are saying that they are using Internshala, they are on Internshala, and a few of the students are commenting like Internshala they found very interesting because most of the work is online. They have to perform the online activities, and they get the certificate also for those activities.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's very good. So my recommendation is graduate from internship sites to freelancing sites, especially if you are in third year of graduation or postgraduate college. So postgraduate students and third year of graduate, undergraduate students, they can try freelancing sites like Fiverr, freelancer.com, and many others are there. So you will be pushed even harder. So that's very good. Now you can connect with me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. My handle is Prof Seema Gupta, and we can continue with the dialogue there. And I keep on sharing more ebooks, more webinars about affiliate marketing, social media marketing, how to be an influencer, more in depth about these things, how to do SEO. And you can also visit my website, profseema.com, for latest blog articles if you want to go deep, and register yourself on the site so you will get into email updates. So it was very nice. Now I can say take some questions if they are there. My book is also there on digital marketing. It's available on Amazon if anybody is interested in buying a book and deep dive.
Yes.
We have a question from Komal. How can I go ahead with freelancing in teaching? I work as college lecturer teaching HRM subject to BBA and BCom. Okay. Now in HRM, the requirement, demand for freelancing may be a bit challenging, because then we are talking of online tuition, right? Here it's more about online teaching tuition. So demand is more for English, maths, science subjects, accounting, more math and method subjects. So HRM, maybe you can look at doing freelancing for corporates. So how you can come up with a recruitment strategy, or how you can create a HR structure or training and development setup for small companies. See, big companies will already have their own teams, but if it is SME, so you can start with them. Small and medium enterprises, typically they don't have any HR. They only have somebody who's just paying salaries. So you can try that. Yes, please, Dr. Gaurav.
Somebody in the Zoom, if they want to ask, they can ask their question directly. Later, after one or two questions from Zoom, I'll take the questions from Facebook.
Yeah, there are no questions here. You can take from Facebook.
Okay, ma'am. Ashish Chaurasia is asking, he wants to ask about drop shipping. Is it trending in foreign countries or something? Even I am not aware about this word. If you can, drop shipping.
Okay. Yes, drop shipping was very popular because most drop shipping is like I mean, you can open a website on, say, Shopify, and companies are sourcing directly from China, and they are shipping directly to the end consumer. So drop shipping was very popular. It is a very good means of earning passive income. But now with China after COVID and all exports banned and manufacturing is halted, so drop shipping has got affected a lot. So it may take some time for drop shipping to bounce back. And maybe it's a good idea to look at drop shipping from Indian companies, sourcing products from India itself. So potential of drop shipping is very high. My son also tried his hands at drop shipping. So it's good experience. You can try that also. It's good for learning, good for making income.
There is another question from Shipra Chauhan. She wants to ask about which approach of digital marketing can help in the revival of tourism industry.
Tourism industry. uh, Tourism industry will take some time because people have put all leisure travel on hold,
Right.
and anyways people are under the grip of fear. So when fear is there, people don't want to spend on discretionary items, and leisure travel is like discretionary. But otherwise Instagram is very good for tourism marketing, because Instagram is very visual, and lot of photography and travel is very popular on Instagram. Then even travel blogs are very popular. So working with some bloggers and talking about travel blog, or even doing this what do you call, product placement. So just getting some celebrities or some top models and showing them spending time in Kerala beach, and see how things have become normal, and they have come to just refresh, and then promoting it on social media. So that is called as PR, public relations. So that works very well in tourism.
Next question is from Nilesh Bagmare. How to improve research skills using social media?
Research skills using, okay. See, one is digital is or social is very good for research. Now, I'm not sure what type of research you are talking about, but one is, say, market research.
Right.
Now, or competitor research. So many tools are there by which you can analyze competition. You can do benchmarking. So you can use Google Form to create a poll and do market survey, and put it on your Facebook group or Facebook channel, and collect feedback about your product, that whether people are satisfied, dissatisfied, what more new features they want in the product. So market research is very good in digital, and many tools are free, and you can draw learnings about company strategy and apply them offline. Now, if you're looking at academic research, then academic research also has a lot of scope for digital, because a lot of data is generated, and for academic research we need data, right? So it's a great field now, and academics is lagging behind practice in digital. Practice is moving at a faster pace because it's like very dynamic. So academics can always analyze and come out with hypotheses and share the findings which are robust.
Right. Due to paucity of time, we'll be taking this last question. This last question is of combined question from Professor Pitambar Gadle and one of the student Gargi. They are saying like Quora is nowadays getting very popular and influencer too, but there are several negativity also on the Quora platform. How to filter that? Is there any way to filter that negativity or negative responses or spam responses?
Okay. See, negativity is part of digital marketing. So it is like we have to learn to adapt to it. Now there are a lot of hate comments. They come even on Twitter. Now if you do Instagram live, because the nature of audience, no, like anybody will join and all, and basic human nature, that envy, jealousy, they will trigger those negative comments. So we have to manage it like ORM, online reputation management. So we have to deal with it firmly, but not offend other people. So we can ignore and not take it to heart, because that's the nature of the ecosystem. And why negativity happens? Because anonymity is there. So people can get away because you can't identify them. There'll be some random email ID or random user ID, but you don't know who that person is. So they hide behind anonymity, and people get into hate comments, maligning, disparaging, which is unfortunate. But like in Facebook, I don't know about Quora, but in Facebook, we can enter some keywords, and comments having those keywords will be blocked. So we can put all those negative keywords, cuss words, and block them. In blog, if you have a website and blog, we can moderate the comments. So any negative comments can be moderated. But in Quora, I'm sure Quora may be moderating. So any such responses they should do.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Before moving ahead to the session, in the beginning of the session, we are not, due to the paucity of time, we are not able to explain the participants who are actually the attendees. We have got more than 2,760 participants plus. This was the figure till yesterday evening, and most of the participants are from post-graduation degree courses, and there are fewer from school and industry persons also. So this means everyone is looking at our webinar. If we look at the international perspective, so there are uh, about more than 12 countries from where we have got the attendees. And for the information of participants, here is a QR code. You can scan this URL. I have already pasted the link of this in the comments, so that you can also copy the link of the feedback form from the comments. You can also scan this as a QR code, and this one is a second code, second attendance code. So please, you can either scan this link, or you can directly access that link also. And I've also mailed you that link. So you need not to worry, don't be panic. This link is available with your inbox. Thank you, ma'am. I'll hand over to Sonal, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful session. Now I would request Dr. Shalja Bhakar to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. I think thanks are the highest form of thoughts, and gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. I feel honored and privileged that I got this opportunity to propose vote of thanks on the occasion of this webinar organized by Prestige Institute of Management Gwalior on a very relevant topic that is also the need of the hour: quintessentials of social media skills required for business students. On behalf of entire teaching fraternity of Prestige Institute of Management Gwalior, and on my personal behalf, I convey my deep regards and heartiest thanks to the resource person, Dr. Seema Gupta, Associate Professor at Indian Institute of Management, Bengaluru, for broadly explaining the topic of the webinar as well as handling all the queries raised in this session. Your profound knowledge will definitely help all the attendees of the webinar to understand the quintessentials of social media skills required for business students. We are greatly encouraged by your gracious presence and immensely benefited by your inspiring address. Thank you very much, ma'am. I would also like to thank Dr. S.S. Parker, Director of Prestige Institute of Management, Gwalior, for his continuous support, guidance, and providing a stimulating environment for such educational developments. It is his vision and leadership that has brought up this webinar in this present form. My enormous respect to you, sir. I would also like to thank Faculty Coordinator, Dr. Rahul Pratap Singh Kaurav, for his efforts and moderation that has led to the smooth conduction of the webinar. Thank you, sir. I also express my thanks to all the faculty members who have extended their support and have also participated in the webinar. I would also like to thank all the participants who are listening this webinar from various parts of the country as well as from various parts of the world who mark their presence in the webinar. I convey my thanks to the students of Prestige Institute of Marketing Polier and also the listeners on YouTube channel for watching this program on YouTube. And at the end, I would like to thank all the distinguished assemblage in this webinar for their gracious presence amongst us on this occasion. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
to all the
Thank
Thank you
participants.
for everything.
for organizing. Thank you.
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank
I
you,
should
Dr.
be-
Seema Gupta. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Good day, sir.
Good day to you.
नमस्कार सर, कैसे हैं? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, participants. Please start joining the meeting.